Hello folks, I hope you all are having a great day. Today's video will be geared towards the absolutely newer players. Since the release of Lab is due soon, it's likely to bring in a wave of new players. So in this guide, I'll go over some of the best and worst classes for new players. Keep in mind, I got these results from the community. These are not my own opinions. I'll have a link to the forum where these answers were taken from. Alright, so first off, it's highly advised that you stick to a class that doesn't have a complicated resource management system. These classes would include Ara because of her orbs, Nova Imperator, and Bloody Queen because of their self-harming passives, and Odd Sorcerer because of her Awakened Wheel, etc. Likewise, it helps to avoid classes that would cost you too many potions and resources. Lucille would be a prime example of this, since you would have to get double costumes for them. Additionally, though it is not that big of a deal, it helps to play a ranged class. This is because the monster in Elsword become much more challenging after Elysium. So if you don't know your class that well and are severely lacking gear, you'll get punished. Okay, so with these limitations in mind, let's start the list. I'll first list out the best and worst classes to start off with in general, followed by a brief explanation. Then later, I will attempt to create a tier list of sorts for classes which fit into certain categories such as stage clearing, bossing, easy to pick up, resource management, etc. Dawnbreaker. For players that want a classic archer play, this is your girl. She is the flagship ranger for the game. She has good stage clears and pretty straightforward mechanics. She can also be built well for end gear. She is great to have in a farming party like 11 for because she can just clear stages with her hyperactive. She's also one of the few classes that have the very useful freeze ability. This ability is super useful in raids, bossing, PvP, or just for panicking then running away. Aether Stage. Although it is better to play characters with more fluid movements, Aether Stage's utility more than makes up for it. Aether Stage has a great area of effect ability and stage clears, multiple crowd controls, and like Dawnbreaker, a freeze ability. She's also one of the game's main buffer classes, which is super useful when you get into raiding. Centurion, another support class. Although there is no tier list for Elsword, if there was, Centurion would more than likely be towards the top. Centurion offers to new players the ability to nuke maps from miles away, carpet bombing for stage clears, and a field that will make most endgame players less hesitant to carry you. Crusaders. Although a melee class, Crusader is the game's flagship tank with its skill, Wonderwall. As long as you keep recycling Wonderwall, you should get into any enemy's face and take some punishment, though he is a bit harder to pick up. Minerva. Very simple and easy to play. Stays out of range most of the time, also from Dungeon Fighters Online if you're into that. Good stage clears and MP regenerations, but lacks burst skills. Fatal Phantom. Alright, so this is the game's Shota turned assassin. He'll feel a bit slow at times, but he has amazing stage clears. Great MP regen and pretty easy to catch on to. Also very good in PvP and has great bursting skills. Overall, a very well-rounded class. Lastly, Knight Emperor and Empire Sword. Although they're melee, Knight Emperor is the game's main character if that matters to some of you. He has absurd damage and defense, very well-rounded. Pretty much the only Elsword class to play right now. Also Armageddon Blade to keep you at mid-range and Iron Body to get you out of trouble. Just requires a bit of watchful eye. Empire Sword is basically the same as Knight Emperor, but is also a speed wagon and does less damage, arguably. Alright, now, classes you should stay away from. Although I am a Nova main, you should stay away from Nova and Blood Queens. They require you to be near death to be effective and has complicated passives. They are also melee classes, although Nova can be argued to be in mid-range. Eves have very awkward movements when compared to the rest of the gang. However, you should definitely try them out after you have gotten a bit of experience with the game, as they are super useful endgame. Lucille, except for Innocent, which is a pretty well-rounded and powerful class. The other two paths don't offer much to make up for the double everything system, too expensive. Now let's get a bit more specific. Endgame. For those of you who'd like to start with a character that has good endgame potential, here are the top picks. Bluefen. He wasn't mentioned at first because he has a rather complicated system. However, this is the game's main support. He can heal and generate mana for the party like no other. Every party, unless it's a party full of self-harming, Bloody Queens and Novas, will want this guy. Centurion. Like Bluefen, he offers the party wide MP generation and super armor along with other buffs. Every raid party will want them, especially in 12-7. Aishas. They can buff entire parties with damage, speed, etc. Dawnbreaker and Aether Stage. Along with solo DPS, they also provide freaks, which is super useful, especially in 12-5 phase 2. Common Crusader. Although Wonderwall was nerfed, no party will turn down extra defense, especially 12-6 parties where no depth title farm takes place. Richter. I'm sorry I butchered that, but Richter and Code Ultimate. Support/DPS, they offer a mix of both. And high DPS characters like Asura, Nova, Flame Lord, and Night Emperor. Fast players, similar to Endgame, once you've gotten decent gear, you'll want a character that can clear stages quickly and efficiently before farming. These classes would include Furious Blade, the game's speedwagon. Furious Blade can stack damage with a stupid buffer plus passive. The signature strength moves, Shockwaves, are arguably the game's most best stage clear abilities because of their quick speed cast, shorter than usual cooldown, and MP gain. Aether Sage, great area of effect skills, good MP management due to meditation, and can just walk through things with Blade Step if you're geared enough. Adds, specifically Mad Paradox and Dominator. These guys' MP cycling and awakening system makes them speed clearing demons, especially Paradox, since he can switch on and off between two resources, DP and MP, to spell their skills, along with his Seal of Time to reset cooldown, along with the option to regain HP and MP should you die. Night Emperor. Along with this absurd damage, this guy can just use his spin to win, aka Windmill, drag enemies with him, then finish them off with one within seconds. Innocent. Great stage clears, good damage, good resource management, good iframe, go-to character for well-rounded play. Dawnbreaker. Great tracking skills, good linear stage clears, good suck abilities, was pretty much meant for stage clearing. Essentia and Sariel. Once geared, this waifus will clear stages faster than you can blink with sweeps, needles, and lasers. Easiest to pick up. Innocent, Night Emperor, Dawnbreaker, Minerva, and Rageheart. My note. So up till now, I was simply deciphering the data we had regarding PvP classes in our community. Now I'll end the video with my personal advice. Pick whatever class you relate to the most. The game is always changing its meta due to the balancing issues. Each class has their own personality and playstyle to them. Pick the one that you wouldn't mind spending hours and maybe even years on. If I hadn't formed a connection with my Raven, I doubt I'd have been able to play the game for 6 years despite its horrible past. However, I like to tell all you new players that despite the bad things you may have heard about the game, it's definitely going towards a positive direction now, as evident by the quality of life patches we've been getting lately. So, welcome to the game and have fun!